All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. My name is Nicholas Beatty, and I coordinate the WTC in Rennes, Brittany. For the second year in a row, Sébastien Kahn, WTC Brest, and I chose to celebrate WTCA Day through this kind of format. That is to say, a webinar showcasing our beautiful network through testimonials, presentations of various WTCs across the globe. A WTC is more than a local association or an exhibition hall or business center or real estate venture. It's also a global network composed of global leaders. Thank you for being here. Sebastian, you have the floor.
Thank you, Nicolas, and welcome to all of you. World Trade Center Brest and World Trade Center Rennes, Bretagne, thank you. Thank you to every single individual of you for joining in our Expanding Your in Business Internationally webinar to celebrate the World Trade Centers Association Day 2021 with our global community. We are pleased to welcome our members that have been with us for years now, and as well as our possibly future members to the community. Helping our audience here today to establish useful connection is not our only goal. Through this webinar, we want to provide very interesting insights for you to have a glance of each destination that you may wish to enter, and to see that we, as part of the World Trade Centers Association, are supporting each other to grow day by day. In this webinar, we have the appearance of special guests from World Trade Centers in different parts of the world and ask them to present about their organization, the top reciprocal services that members in the World Trade Center network can have access to, the top local industries, and the updates of the post-pandemic economic recovery plans in their regions. Just a quick reminder to ask you to turn off your microphone during the presentation. And for this special day, we are very pleased to welcome Robin VAN PUYENBROECK, Executive Director, Business Development at the World Trade Centers Association, for a few introduction words. We will then have the pleasure to welcome Abdul from Kabul, Alex from Moscow, Jose from Lisbon, Edem from Accra, and we will conclude this world tour with Iago from South Brazil World Trade Centers. Then they will have the task to make you discover our global organization and its diversity within a 5 to 7 minutes presentation for each of them. Before giving the floor to Robin, we would like also to thank our supporting partners, World Trade Center Lille, World Trade Center North Atlantic, and MES Saarbrücken, that helped us to promote this event over our region. Robin, the floor is yours.
Well, bonjour tout le monde, and greetings here from the World Trade Centers Association in New York. So I'm Robin VAN PUYENBROECK, WTCA's Executive Director of Business Development. First of all, it's really great to be here with you all for this exciting event celebrating WTCA Day 2021. I would like to thank and congratulate Sébastien, Nicolas, and the entire teams here of World Trade Centers Brest and Rennes, Bretagne for putting together this excellent event, and as well as the wonderful expert panel speakers from World Trade Centers from around the world who will discuss how to expand your business internationally through our network. Now, for more than 50 years, the WTCA network has been stimulating and facilitating international trade and investment. And today, our community counts more than 320 World Trade Centers in almost 100 countries and growing. Our member World Trade Centers are true beehives of economic activity. They're focused on services, on moving people, on moving goods, on hospitality. It is the place where trade actually happens. Our organization is very diverse, which is a true strength. And our global network consists of prime commercial real estate, airports, free trade zones, universities, conference and expo centers, and economic development agencies, where members focus on trade services, on creating jobs and opportunity, and operating in a global network of trust. Tomorrow, on June 12th, we celebrate a momentous day for our association, World Trade Centers Association Day. In 2002, former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg proclaimed the day to be World Trade Centers Association Day, or WTCA Day, which was subsequently recognized by the Secretary General of the United Nations to recognize the WTCA and its network of World Trade Centers for enhancing trade, for promoting economic development, and for fostering peace through trade. And since then, every year, the association and its members have celebrated that day by hosting their own World Trade Center events, World Trade Center Association Day events, as we do here today, in their local communities, and posting on social media, and have celebrated the ongoing importance and connectivity of our network if it comes to global trade and investment. Now, in today's world, where we see a new form of globalization unfolding, a digital globalization, the ability for people around the world to connect with one another in a trusted environment has become an essential business necessity. For international trade and investments to be successful, businesses and governments need to have the ability to create solid relationships of trust and to connect people and organizations in a professional framework. The WTCA's role as a global association in connecting the business world is critical in supporting local economies around the world during this global crisis. And today's event is an excellent example of making that happen. Bringing people together and sharing expertise and being there for one another is exactly what we do at the WTCA. In this time of crisis, our incredibly resilient international network has proven an indispensable tool for businesses to stay connected. To that effect, we introduced during our recent General Assembly in April an artificial intelligence-powered business-to-business matchmaking platform, where we brought together more than 1,000 business partners from 70 countries across various sectors and industries. We let an algorithm do the heavy lifting and focused on finding effective ways for companies to find suitable partners in a virtual environment. And embracing this kind of technology is key as we reinvent ourselves to create the WTCA of the future, and expect more of this to come. Our mission of facilitating global trade is now more important and relevant than ever. We continue to forge strategic partnerships and long-lasting friendships, which will make our global network even stronger, more interactive, and more interconnected. Such partnerships include collaborations with the United Nations Global Compact. As it is important, we stand for principles, and that as a business community and as social actors, we support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We also partnered with the Global Trade Help Desk, that is an UNCTAD, ITC, and WTO initiative, providing indispensable trade tools. We're also focused on connecting with development banks and the WTO itself, where the conversation on international trade and reform of the global trade infrastructure is actually happening. And last but not least, we have also partnered with industry organizations, such as UFI, a global leader in the conference and exhibitions area. Our membership in Europe is really exemplary. It's very active and is hyper-connected, so please make full use of that. Another new source where we aim to provide thought leadership is our new global podcast called Trade Wins. So please do visit podcast.wtca.org and make sure to subscribe. We have new episodes released like on a weekly basis. Now, in closure, I would like to emphasize again on the importance of coming together within a trusted global environment like the WTCA, as well as on coming together in person, which is indispensable to forge solid and long-term relationships. We strongly believe in the ongoing potential of trade services, as well as commercial real estate. And together, we will redefine the purpose of place, making sure our World Trade Centers continue to be the best place to be at, the place where you are truly connected to a global network. And our value proposition is as strong as it has ever been. We will maintain our strength and resiliency, and together we will emerge from this pandemic stronger. So thank you again for having me, and I sincerely hope we'll have a chance to meet in person soon. So I wish you all a successful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Robin, for these introduction words. Without any delay, I will give the floor to Abdul from World Trade Center Kabul, which is working today. Thank you, Abdul, for joining us. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. Actually, it's my pleasure and honor being here today for such an important gathering. First of all, I would like to congratulate the WTCA Day to all the WTC network around the world. And I would like to thank from the WTC Brest and also Rennes, Bretagne, and all other colleagues. You did a great job and organized today's event. And a special thanks to the speakers and also the panelists of this event and also the participants. Actually, as you know, that the World Trade Center Kabul is a new organization, and it was established. We got license in 2019, on December 2019. The office and the brand is approved by the World Trade Center Association on December 2019. But in 2020, in October 2020, we officially inaugurated the brand in Kabul, Afghanistan. And there was a delay because there was due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there was delay to the process. But fortunately, we opened the office in 2022. And the new brand of property of World Trade Center Kabul will be open in 2022. And we hope that opening this office, we could provide facilities for the local international business community in Kabul, Afghanistan. Currently, we have around 25 members. Now it's written in the slide 23, but we got 2 more members, and it's increasing day by day. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we're not satisfied with the number of members, but still we are trying our best to make as stronger as possible the business club of WTC Kabul. In the next slide, please. The top 3 industries in Kabul and also in Afghanistan is agriculture, mining, and energy sector. So there are tremendous opportunities in these 3 sectors. There are a lot of investment projects in the agriculture sector and also in mining sector. You know, everyone knows that Afghanistan is rich in minerals and mining sector. So there are untapped resources that we invite the investors in Afghanistan, and we are here to secure the local partners for them in order to invest in Afghanistan. And same in energy sector. Afghanistan is in the middle of Central Asia and South Asia, that we're also a route of transit for energy between Central Asia and South Asia, where there are a lot of demands for different countries. We have also the tremendous opportunities in different hydro, solar, and wind energy. That there are many investment projects are ready for investors. For post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan, there was works were going on between the Afghanistan government and also the World Bank. They prepared a plan, a recovery plan, and some of the SMEs received some sort of support from the government of Afghanistan. But unfortunately, to be honest, we were not very much deeply involved in the private sector with this post-pandemic recovery plan. Next slide, please. And the top 3 services which the World Trade Center Kabul can offer to different WTC's members is that We can assist to access the local business community to the local business address, and also we can host any kind of trade missions in Afghanistan and Kabul. So whenever there is an interest from the World Trade Centers around the world, we're here in Kabul, and it's our pleasure to host any kind of trade missions and arrange their meetings for the business community, arrange their meetings and also with the government in any kind of investors and also attractions. And the second one is foreign company registration. If any of you members willing to invest or do business in Afghanistan, we're here to support them and to facilitate their registration of business in Afghanistan, which we have some sort of relationship with the government of Afghanistan. We can do it very easily. And the third one is assistance and connecting with local authorities, with local government authorities, chambers, trade organizations, embassies, and any other local address which there is any interest from the members of World Trade Centers around the world. We're happy to assist here in Kabul, Afghanistan. Coming to the success story, we did a lot of events and webinars for the business community in Afghanistan, and we introduced the network, the huge network of the World Trade Center, which is now available in Afghanistan. We recently established a special business club for women, which is called Women Leaders in Entrepreneurs Club. Which nowadays we're going to officially open this business club. It has special services to the business women, and we gathered the women leaders from different sectors, from the government, from the civil society, and from private sector. And we want to recognize top 100 women leaders and entrepreneurs in order to assist them for their business activities, for their connections, and that is our mandate for the Women Business Leaders and Entrepreneurs Club. Thank you so much. So I'll be here. If there was any question, I'll be here, happy to answer that.
Thank you very much, Abdul, and congratulations for all this work done since you entered the network. I also take this opportunity to ask you to put your question in the chat box. We will answer them at the end of the presentation. To continue this world tour, we are asking Alex from Moscow to tell us about World Trade Center Moscow.
Hello and welcome to World Trade Center Moscow, Russia. Thank you very much for having me, and obviously special thanks to the organizers. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Nicholas, Sebastian, and thank you, Abdul. Now I would like to tell you about what it is to have a World Trade Center in Russia, in Moscow, to get you more familiar with the history, a substantial history of the World Trade Center that we have in Moscow, and to give you a glimpse of in our economy, if you'd like, with the opportunities that you can get through partnership with World Trade Center Moscow. All right, so Moscow, yeah, World Trade Center concept came here in the country into the USSR, if you'd like, in 1974, when we got the first license for the World Trade Center. The building itself was built just prior to the Olympic Games of 1980, and it was a project, a joint project of Soviet Russia back then, well, Soviet Union, and the American company. In 1981, we were glad and we were honored to welcome the participants of the General Assembly of the World Trade Centers Association. And the General Assembly came back to Moscow in 2021 after that. Well, putting the long story short, if you'd like, through the years we've changed with the country, of course, and by 2021 we became a major, well-established, well-known business center in Moscow with around 300 square meters or 3 million square feet of real estate property, with 3 office towers branded as WTC. More than 750 rooms in our hotel cluster, the Congress Center with 32 meeting rooms of different capacity, from like 20 people to 1,500 people, 14 restaurants and sport club with a swimming pool, of course, being a part of a 5-star hotel. This is all a part of a multifunctional World Trade Center, but a multifunctional World Trade Center wouldn't be a multifunctional without international regional business partnership department or business facilitation department. The services of business facilitation are provided in very close cooperation with our major shareholder, which is the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Russian Federation. That is represented by around 180 representative offices in more than 80 regions of Russia. So if you'd like, in 9 time zones, having behind it around 52,000 companies of a different size, but mostly small and medium enterprises. As for the tenants or the partners of the World Trade Center Moscow itself, we have around 500 to 600 different size members, but mostly large state-owned and international foreign companies having their headquarters here. But from the, the huge, talking about the huge companies, we have Russian Export Center, which is the arm of the government devoted to promoting the international trade. I think they rent 5 stories in one of our towers, and the development banks, but we have medium and small enterprises as well. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I cannot do it from here. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, top 3 local industries. While preparing for this particular presentation, I thought about the industries present among our members. So among our members, economic development agencies, banks, financial institutions, real estate management companies with their headquarters here, then high-tech and information technology, information communication technology, industrial companies headquarters. But obviously in Moscow you have all the animals of a kind, if you'd like. So most of the headquarters of industrial facilities that are situated somewhere in Siberia, on the Ural regions, they're all here. And if you enter, or if you'd like to enter the Russian market via Moscow, via World Trade Center Moscow, you will essentially get the connection to the companies that are doing their business, producing something, manufacturing something in the remote regions of our country. Okay, post-COVID-19 economic recovery in Moscow and in Russia. We keep on saying safety measures and vaccination and the safety measures, which is going to pull us out of this crisis. But the crisis with the Russian economy is some sort of a different nature. We contracted by 3% last year. And in comparison with the contraction of the world economy being minus 3.8% according to the World Bank, we are better off. Advanced economies contracted by 5.4%, if I'm not mistaken, and the similar countries to us, the commodity exporting countries, contracted to 4.8%. So we managed to be better off in terms of the economic decline. The reasons for that, as you probably may guess, is first, the size of this sector, the size of the services sector is not that high, so the employment and the service sector were hit the most in the developed countries, of course. So the employment fell there. Whereas in the case of Russia, the economy is substantially populated by the huge state-owned companies that helped to for the employment rates to stay at the quite high level. Okay, we've lost 1.7 million jobs, but we are recovering very fast. Then the fiscal stimulus. The Russian government implemented the fiscal stimulus, which amounted to around 4.5% of the GDP, which is comparable to the other countries. I think we are on the way out of the situation, if you'd like. But unfortunately, the numbers of the COVID cases in Moscow have been growing for a week or two, and only time will tell how we're going to get out of the possible third wave. So that's the story so far. Next slide, please. Okay, reciprocity. What we do and what we can do for you if you'd like to enter the Russian markets through the Trade Center Moscow. I decided to put it in 3 major functions of ours that we would like to attract your attention to. Business facilitation. We can do market research for you. We can provide you with business context and introduce you to the network of the companies comprising our tenants and the member companies of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Russian Federation, being our major shareholder. This is first. Then trade missions. Now virtual. One day when you get introduced to the proper context that you like, maybe you would like to visit Russia. This is something that we can help you with. Talking about virtual trade missions, webinars and virtual trade missions, this is something that we can do right now. If you'd like, we can set up such a webinar in a B2B setting, if you'd like, introducing you to the companies of your choice. Just let us know what would you like and whom would you like to meet. And the third thing that we do, and I think we have the best practice in this particular activity, is organizing major international business forums with participation of huge delegations from other countries headed by the heads of state. Obviously, we are employing the entire set of our infrastructural assets, being Congress Center, where the events take place, then the 3 hotels of ours, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star hotel to accommodate the participants of the delegation. And all the other, including the cultural program and nightlife, if you'd like, that Moscow has to offer. And talking about success stories, here I gathered some of the pictures of the delegations that we've had in the past. Delegation from the Czech Republic with participation or in the presence of the President of the Czech Republic. The same with Croatia and Mozambique. And you can see here that the President of Mozambique is exploring or, examining one of the Russian cars. It's a Jeep, off-road Jeep, that he was very interested in. And the delegation from Accra, Ghana, that we had not so long ago. So, to conclude, the Russian economy obviously suffered in some of the qualitative changes have been taking place. We are not out of there yet, but we are going there, and hopefully we will get through the third wave if it's coming. And talking about the World Trade Center Moscow, we are at your service. Please call us, email us, mail us, and let us know what we can do for you, and we'll do our best to accommodate your needs. Thank you so much. And by the way, tomorrow is the Day of Russia, the national celebration, and we'll be celebrating it together with World Trade Centers Association Day. So probably I will drink 2 pints of Guinness tomorrow. To Russia and to the World Trade Centers Association, thank you so much. Please contact me if you need anything.
Spasiba, Alex.
Spasiba to you. Merci, merci.
It's a very impressive way that World Trade Center Moscow has been through, and it's a really good place that you have now in the local ecosystem. We are joining now with José from World Trade Center Lisboa, which is also a newcomer with this also very impressive project. José, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sebastian. I would like to thank World Trade Center Brest and Rennes, Bretagne for this organization, and of course also Robin and all the speakers and panelists. It's an honor to be here, and I will try to give you an overview of where we stand in Lisbon and what is also the challenges in the Portuguese economy right now. So can we go to the first slide, please? So we have established the World Trade Center in Lisbon end 2018, beginning 2019. And we are working right now on the completion of the World Trade Center Lisbon buildings, which will have around 25,000 square meters of office space and 4,000 for retail. And we are targeting to have it ready by end 2021. And of course, we have associated with this entry of the World Trade Center, we have created the World Trade Center Lisbon Business Club and started to have several meetings with the financial sector, such as Euronext Lisbon, which is the controlling entity of 7 stock exchanges in Europe, and with companies such as Embraer, which is the largest foreign investor from Brazil in Portugal in the aeronautic industry. But just before I proceed here, can you please turn on the video, please? Thank you.
The future is here. Every day we say it, and every day we make it happen. That's how we see the world. A world with cutting-edge technology, but at the same time, more human. This world already exists. 5 minutes away from Lisbon city center, 20 minutes from Cascais, and really close to the best beaches. Here is where the tomorrow happens, at World Trade Center Lisbon. Here we see and make the future happen from the very first moment at arrival, with practical solutions that promote mobility and sustainability. Everything was thought and designed to promote well-being, both physical and emotional, a comfort that you feel and live in each of the spaces that articulate with each other, whether they are in the office area, the outdoor spaces, or the area dedicated to commercial businesses and services. World Trade Center is a space where quality of life is at the core of everyday life. Because we believe that in every business there's a huge human potential, ready to be revealed in everything and everyone. This is the world of those who dream, believe, and make it happen. With them, we share our vision of the future in an intelligent, dynamic, creative, and collaborative environment. Here at the World Trade Center Lisbon, tomorrow happens every day.
So thank you for passing the film. So this is in a nutshell how we see the development of our building. I have already had several questions from colleagues all over World Trade Center if they are to be invited for the inauguration. Of course, everybody will be invited for the inauguration. So we expect to have it ready by end 21, so end of this year, and certainly in 2022 we'll have a grand opening. Can we move to the next slide, please? So let me tell you a bit about the three top industries. We have a cluster very much on the car industry, and it came along the aeronautic industry with the investment that Embraer did in Portugal and created some 100 kilometers out of Lisbon in a region called Évora. Has created an important cluster of the aeronautic industry. And in the area close to Lisbon and close to Porto, we have several investments in the car industry and spare parts, mainly from Volkswagen, but also Mercedes, which has established their innovation center, global innovation center in Portugal, but Bosch also next to Porto in the north. And also the French PSA is also investing significantly in Portugal. So we have this cluster in the car industry and the aeronautic industry. And then we have a very important area of tourism. And you probably have heard about the good Portuguese wine. But let me tell you, the tourism has been supported by the fact that against the assessments done globally, Portugal is the third safest country in the world after Iceland and New Zealand. It has in Lisbon 295 days of sun, 295 sunny days. We have very good conditions for the sports activities, for golf. We have beautiful beaches for surf, and we have a very famous area for surf, which is called Nazaré. But of course, this has produced a fantastic industry in the hospitality area, in the service area. And this is, of course, Portugal suffered a lot during the pandemic because the tourism is a significant part of our GDP. It's close to 12% of our GDP. And so, as you can imagine, that has been a difficult period. But we are optimistic that the future will bring the tourists back to Portugal. And both in 2019 and 2020, Lisbon was considered the best world destination for tourism. So we expect, with that said, but also with our port wine and several very other good wines, to attract not only Europeans. The British are certainly very, very important part of our foreign visitors, but we have from Germany, from Holland, from France, from Scandinavia, and more a lot from Brazil because of also the Portuguese language. But lately, in the last 3-4 years, I think the Americans have discovered Portugal, and it is growing sharply, the presence of American tourists. And then we have position since 2014, 2015, Lisbon as a hub for the technology startups, and for many reasons. In fact, the climate is good, and now with this digital world, it is possible to work in any place in the world. So if you can come to Lisbon, which is safe and has a very good climate, very good quality of life. So a lot of startuppers came from Germany, came from Holland, came from US, from UK to Lisbon. And we progressively created an important hub for these tech startups. Today, the broadband infrastructure of Portugal is considered one of the 5 best in the world. So that also is an enabler for these investments in tech startups. And since 2016, we have the largest technology startup event of Europe, which is Web Summit, and operates every November. So you are most welcome to come in November to participate in this Web Summit that brings together startups from all over the world, investors from all over the world, accelerators from all over the world. So what I would say about the post-COVID-19 economic recovery plan in Portugal, we have a very ambitious plan dedicated essentially to the recovery of the industry, but also the digitalization of the economy, so the transition to a digital economy, to accelerate this transition to a digital economy, but also the transition to the energy transition to a more sustainable development, so sustainability including the renewable energies. It was good to note that Robin was mentioning that World Trade Center is strongly aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. We are totally in Portugal aligned with that. As you probably know, the General Secretary of the United Nations is Portuguese and hopefully will be re-elected for a second term. And that has a huge influence in Portugal right now. And therefore, I would say we are going through a transition to a sustainable development, sustainable economic development, and that is in all sectors of activity. So can we go? I would say now about the services. Of course, Lisbon is looking not only to Portugal, is looking to support companies from outside Europe in the Europe area, in the European Union, but also clients from throughout Europe looking to Portuguese-speaking countries out of Lisbon. So we have several contacts with German companies, Polish companies that look for relationships, business relationships with Brazil, with Angola, with Mozambique via Lisbon because of the Portuguese language. So, and of course, we offer also to the Portuguese businesses the access via the World Trade Centers to other areas of Europe, USA, Brazil, Northern Africa is Brazil, of course, has a strong relation with Portugal, but Northern Africa, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, that's all very important countries for business trade with Portugal, but also Middle East and some of the Asian countries. We are looking at developing regular events with the financial community, and such as this event with Euronext. As I was explaining to you, Euronext owns 7 stock exchanges, including in Europe, including the stock exchange of Lisbon. So we are doing several developments with Euronext, and we'll have a very important event with the president of Euronext on the next 23rd of June. I can then give you a link to participate in this meeting. And we are looking to organize business missions. As our colleague from Moscow was saying, Lisbon is also very welcoming of business missions. And we had just a year and a half ago, the WTCA Africa bringing important business mission from Ghana to Portugal. We are looking at possibilities of other countries such as Brazil and Algeria to develop missions to Lisbon in the near future. But we are looking also to possibilities, more direct opportunities. For instance, we are working with the World Trade Center Trieste to bring a very important client of WTC Trieste to Portugal to look for partnerships in Portugal, and we are organizing this for September. Well, the success story, of course, we have been created very recently, and we are very excited and enthusiastic with what will happen with the opening of the World Trade Center Lisboa building, as you just saw. Of course, this will be, we would like to make it a center to promote international trade and international business at the global scale. And of course, this will be two ways, because it's to bring members of World Trade Center, other World Trade Centers in the world to Portugal, and business, Portuguese businesses to experience the support of World Trade Centers across the world. So, and that as the Portuguese market is very open, let me just give you the dimension that 45% of our production is entirely exported. So we are naturally looking for trade, for international trade, and Portugal depends a lot on international trade. So the arrival of World Trade Center in Portugal via the World Trade Center Lisbon could not come in a better moment. So open for business, and welcome to everybody. Thank you very much.
Obrigado, José, and thank you for this nice showcasing of the connection that the World Trade Center network is enabling. Idem from Accra is just joining us. Idem, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm trying now to open this up. I would be very happy if you could show our presentation. Okay, I see that now. So welcome. It's very sunny in Accra today. I hope everyone can hear me. I am speaking to you now on behalf of World Trade Center Accra. Can you show the next slide, please? My name is Edem Kofi Evuche. So World Trade Center Accra was licensed in 2008, but we've been active since 2010. And I know my friend in Algeria, the World Trade Center Algiers, would not like to hear this, but I think we're the most active World Trade Center in Africa at the moment. And Africa is a very, very important and key place for business in the world today, because most actors in the world economy agree that the future will be greatly influenced by what's happening in the continent of Africa. We in World Trade Center Accra, we are situated in a central business district. It's a very strategic location, also close to the government ministries enclave. And also we are sitting next to the central financial district of Accra. We are the second tallest building in Ghana. And we're not a very tall building compared to standards maybe in other World Trade Centers, but we have 15 floors with 14 stories available for offices. And then we have a second building which has an exhibition center, it has conference rooms. And most, very importantly, World Trade Center Accra will be hosting the General Assembly of the World Trade Centers Association in 2022, which will be a very magnificent expose of business opportunities in Africa. Can you move on to the next slide, please? So World Trade Center Accra is strategically located to facilitate your trade and business engagements with Africa. As you may already know, Africa is a continent of over 1 billion people with a median age of about 19.8, so a young continent, one of the youngest continents in the world. In recent times, doing business in Africa has become even more keen because of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is the largest multilateral trade agreement signed in the world after the establishment of the World Trade Organization, and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which came into force in January this year, is basically uniting the entire African market. We're talking about 54 countries that have established now a custom-free area with a combined GDP in excess of 3 trillion, expected to grow. So yes, Africa is key. And the headquarters of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is based in Accra, which is the next building to the World Trade Center, Accra. According to McKinsey, household spending in Africa is going to hit 2.1 trillion US dollars by 2025, and business spending will go up to 3.5 trillion. So if you're looking to come into the African market, which you should be, if you're a business, your businesses in your area should be thinking seriously about this. World Trade Center Accra is a very, very solid and good, safe landing pad. We will support you incredibly. Ghana, talking just about the economy of Ghana, top 3 industries. Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa in the world, which basically is the main ingredient for the chocolate industry, multi-billion-dollar chocolate industry. Ghana is looking now to process more of its cocoa, so there are great opportunities for cocoa processing into chocolate or into semi-finished products. Cargill, Amajaro, and Cocoa Processing Company of Ghana are just some of the major players in this space. Ghana also became an oil-producing country. Of course, there's more exploration going on. There are going to be new announcements to be made. But currently, Ghana is producing about 189,000 barrels per day of crude oil, sweet light crude. And Ghana is Africa's #1 producer of gold. Some of the key players are Anglo, Ashanti, Newmont, and so on. But quite apart from these usual suspects, in Africa today, and especially in Ghana, the focus is on rapid industrialization. Last year, Volkswagen started its car assembly plant in Ghana, and this year we're expecting Toyota and Mitsubishi to do the same. There's also a considerable business opportunity for electric vehicles because, as you may know, African countries have a track record of leapfrogging into new technologies, the same way we leapfrogged the land phones and went straight to mobile phones. And currently, we are the fastest growing mobile market in the world. And this is creating a lot of opportunities for digital technologies. So the digital space is growing really, really fast. This year, Twitter announced that it was going to situate its Africa office in Ghana. In 2019, Google opened its first artificial intelligence lab in Africa in Ghana. Microsoft opened its first data center also in Nigeria and Kenya in 2019. So yes, the digital space, there's a proliferation of mobile payment solutions, and it's moving at a breakneck speed. I already talked a little bit about Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is also one of the reasons for the increased foreign direct investment in the continent at the moment. So the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world hard and hit Africa also, hit Ghana also. But in terms of direct impact, I think that Africa and Ghana in particular also did not feel the major brunt of the pandemic. Till date, I think we've recorded less than 1,000 mortalities. And we had in Ghana 94,000 cases of COVID-19 because we did a very, very extensive testing and contact tracing in this country. I was traveling around the world just at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was surprised at how relaxed I was in other airports, but in the airports in Ghana, because we already had histories of trying to deal with pandemics, we went into overdrive very quickly. And even till today, if you arrive in the airport in Ghana, you see that there's a very elaborate mechanism for testing. You have your results in 2 hours. If you are positive, you are immediately quarantined. There are health facilities that are set aside for this. So we managed to take good care of ourselves in the pandemic and to keep mortalities over 14 months below 1,000. One of the also factors that worked in our favor was that Ghana already had very large healthcare facilities that were built but were not being used. The $240 million University of Ghana Medical Center was idle and not being used until the pandemic. So it was easy for the government to quickly dedicate it to become a COVID treatment center. It already had high-level equipment that were built, and supplied based on the Sheba Medical Center in Israel. So the government launched a 100 billion Ghana cedi CARES program recently to take care of, trying to revive the economy from the COVID pandemic, and also introduced some new taxes, which we are not very happy about. But it is expected that the economy of Ghana, which grew in 2020 at 1.1%, so in 2019 it grew at 6.5%, but due to the pandemic in 2020, we dropped to a GDP growth of just 1.1%. But in 2021, it is projected that the economy will grow at about 4%. Kindly go on to the next slide, please. Hello, next slide, please. So at the World Trade Center Accra, we pride ourselves again in being one of the most active World Trade Centers on the continent of Africa. And so, although we're based in Accra, we try to extend our tentacles as wide as possible and support your business interest across the continent. This year, we launched the One Africa initiative, which is going to take delegations across the continent of Africa. We also launched the International Trade Accelerator Program, which is supposed to help foreign businesses that do not have local offices here to use the World Trade Center Accra resources as your local office. So we give you daily reports on cold calls, emails. We establish your Zoom meetings with potential buyers and distributors. We share with you market reports. Of course, that's at a fee of just $200 per month. But then we also give quite a number of other services for free. We arrange your B2B meetings. We arrange your, we supply you with like market-based information like distributor databases and all that for free. From last year to this year, we worked with a referral that WTC 20 centers, and we're happy to say that the Goodroll company, which came from Holland, from Netherlands, managed to establish its operations in Ghana successfully. They've grown their staff from just 1 to about 19 currently, and last week, we started to engage them about taking up office space inside the World Trade Center Accra building. So that's like an important success story of our network and our cooperation with WTC 20. And you've heard also from WTC Moscow and WTC Lisbon about trade delegations that we sent to these cities quite recently. So we are open to do more engagements with other World Trade Centers again. So I'll end my presentation here, and I would like to request that the team we have a video of our upcoming General Assembly. I'll be happy if you could play that as well to show to the audience what we plan to do in 2022. And I look forward to seeing all of you in Accra in 2022 when we have the General Assembly. Thank you. Sebastian, I'll be happy if you can play our video now.
Yes, thank you, Adam. It's on the way. Yeah.
You may not have all the answers. But at the World Trade Centers Association, we think that Africa will be a big part of the future.
We invite you to join a delegation to our first General Assembly in Sub-Saharan Africa to be held in Accra in April 2022.
Africa's economy has been growing at a rate above global averages, and at a point before COVID, had 7 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. Africa presents unmatchable opportunities in almost all its economic sectors. Information and communication technology, agriculture and food processing, mining and drilling, energy and power, manufacturing, banking and finance, retail, and infrastructure. In all these sectors, Africa has unused potential, which means Africa offers growth trajectories that are difficult to replicate in almost any other economy in the world. For instance, Mr. Jim Ovia, who you would probably meet when you attend GA 2022, started Zenith Bank in 1990 with $4 million US. In 2019, Zenith Bank had total asset base of about 16 billion US, representing over 1,000% growth. And this is just to whet your appetite about the immense potential that Africa holds. GA 2022 will feature conference sections, networking cocktails, focused on key economic sectors and countries, customized B2B and B2G engagements, an exhibition, and field trips designed to provide participants with insights into trade and economic opportunities in Africa. Most of these activities will be held in the Regal Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Accra. GA 2022 will be an opportunity to also experience the rich culture and natural endowment of Ghana and some other African countries. Yes, we have arranged some amazing tours for your accompanying guests to be conducted alongside the main business events. You may also book tours around the country and even to other countries on the continent after the business events of GA 2022 from World Trade Center Accra's Travel Services subsidiary. GA 2022 Accra, Ghana will be a truly African General Assembly, bringing perspectives, insights, and opportunities from across the continent. We look forward to welcoming you to Accra, the gateway to Africa and the future. And we really can't wait to show you our beautiful city and country. See you!
Nice event to come, and thank you, Edem, for this introduction. We are very excited to leave this event for real next year. To conclude this world tour, I'm inviting Iago from World Trade Center South Brazil to present the South Brazilian World Trade Center. Iago, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. So, hello, everyone. Good afternoon for you guys. Good morning for me. Actually, I would like to say thank you for all of you to having me here. And on behalf of World Trade Center South Brazil, I would like to say thank you as well. And I want to share a little bit about us and about what are working here. So next, please. So I don't know if you're familiar, but I don't know if you know, but World Trade Center South Brazil is responsible for 3 licenses here in 3 states. So we're talking about World Trade Center Curitiba, WTC Joinville, and WTC Porto Alegre. I will share a little bit about these cities in the next slide, but just to let you know, I'm talking about the 3 richest and biggest cities in South Brazil. Start with Curitiba. Here in the slide, you can read some information about our city, such as population and GDP. But what I would like to share is that main economic sectors here in the city. Currently, our interest, as you can see here, mainly automotive. So we have like Volvo here, we have Volkswagen, we have Renault in Curitiba. We have strong services, basic services industry, services in Curitiba. And we also have great growth with technology-based companies. So we're talking about startups here. Actually, currently we have 2 unicorns here, and we have a great innovation ecosystem, the biggest in the state and the biggest in the South Brazil. So this is the 3 main sectors here in Curitiba. Next, please. Talking about Joinville, Joinville is not the capital of the state of Santa Catarina, but is the richest and the biggest city in the state. Its economic is also based on industries, and I'm talking about metal mechanics, plastic, textile, wood, and information technology and others. And because of the strategic geographic location, the city is close to 4 ports. It has a strong international trade. So I think it's the main sector is everything about international trade in Joinville, and also has the biggest dance festival in the world and the biggest event of international trade in South Brazil. Next one, please. Talking about Porto Alegre, the capital of Rio Grande do Sul, also has economic-based industries, and talking about metallurgic, textile, and petrochemical. But the same with Joinville, it's a strategic location of the city. It's a really good difference. So Porto Alegre, it's a city, it's really close to the Mercosur countries. I'm talking about Uruguay, Paraguay, and Argentina. So this location of the Porto Alegre makes the city a great choice for those who want to do business with that countries. Next one, please. Talking about our reciprocity, World Trade Center South Brazil has 3 units: business, real estate, we still on license phase, international projects, and competitiveness program. Next, please. Talking about the competitiveness, about us a little bit and about our competitiveness program. World Trade Center South Brazil was created in 2012 with the first license from World Trade Center Curitiba. And since 2017 is under the administration of our group. So currently we have more than 200 members divided between the business club and the competitiveness program. Our business club actually is our competitiveness program. The purpose of this program is to positively impact the scenario of companies through relevant knowledge and exchange of experience. So how we do that? We bring together C-levels of all the companies that we have members, and together they discuss themes such as taxes, smart cities, real estate, ESG, funding, M&A, and others. So with this discussion with C-levels, with high level, we bring to our companies more competitiveness. And that is about our competitiveness program and also our business club. Next one, please. I talk about our reciprocity in international services. Since we don't have yet a real estate project here in South Brazil, we are really focused on services. So talking about international services, we have our program called Doing Business With, which means we choose a country, a destination. Usually we do that with World Trade Center office, and we go there to share a little bit about us, about our country, and also to know about their country. So we did that with World Trade Center Toronto in Canada, with World Trade Center Pereira in Colombia, and with World Trade Center Istanbul in Turkish. So we do like a Brazilian day, share our business opportunities, share a little bit about our country, and also to know about their country and to know about their opportunities. We have outbound services to help our companies, Brazilian companies, to go abroad. We have inbound services that I'm going to tell a little bit about in the next slide. We have events, matchmaking, and research. This three is all national and international. And you have the business development that I'm going to talk in the next slide as well. Next, please. Talk about the business development. I put this locally because this is how we can help you to do business here in Brazil. So if you're looking to come to Brazil, I can connect you with the right guy to do like tax planning, human resource, international trade, logistic, M&A, funding, finance. So all this service that is here in the slide, I can provide to you here in Brazil. As I mentioned before, we are really focused on international service. So if you're thinking to come to Brazil and I need a research, we can arrange for you. We need just a sponsor, we can arrange. We need to buy a company there in Brazil. We believe the best strategy for us is to buy a company in Brazil. We can find the company, you can find the best company for you. So we can help you in the different ways. We have been working in these services since 2012, and it's really good. We have like a lot of partners here. We have a lot of companies that we may work with you and be able to help you. Next one, please. So before I finish, I would like to tell you a little bit about our pandemic situation here in Brazil. Currently, as you may know, we continue to face the pandemic here in Brazil. Our vaccination is going a little bit slow, but it's going. It's better than nothing. And until it advances into the end, we will not be able to fully recover economic growth, because case sectors such as restaurant, events, tourism, and others continue with the operational restrictions. So they're not be able to fully operation. But we truly believe that vaccination will end here in Brazil with all the population by October of this year. So until there, we're still with that kind of restrictions. But after October, we truly believe that all activities will be authorized to work again. So after that, we have like fully country working again, and we are expecting to have a growth, a GDP growth around 4.5% this year, the post-pandemic situation. So that's our perspective now for the second half of the year, and that is our COVID situation right now. We're vaccinated, but it's a little bit slow. I had a challenge for the guys that I need to speak like quickly about 3 cities, and I may did it. So here is my contact. If you need to do more, to know more about us, there's my contact here. Also is the social medias from World Trade Center Curitiba and World Trade Center Joinville. World Trade Center Porto Alegre. It's a new, not a new license, but we bought the license last year, so we're still working in the social media and everything else. But we can find everything in the social medias from World Trade Center Curitiba and World Trade Center Joinville. So that's all. Thank you guys so much for having me here, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Iago. And personally, I've learned many things about South Brazil and cities that I didn't know, like Joinville. And thank you also for sharing your contact. And I've seen from the chat that there are already some connection being done between the audience and the speakers. So that's a good thing. And we will share the presentation with all the contacts at the end. Nicholas, do we have a few questions from the audience? So do you want to ask, do you have some specific question for our speakers?
Well, isn't it great though? We're seeing people network in the chat. I mean, that's actually the point of this this event is to network, and thank you Yu Fung Lam, and thank you Hubert, Arul, Suchit. I can see Antoine also. Thank you guys for your questions. What I'm going to do, since these questions are quite specific, I'll have you all email directly the speakers for these questions. I see questions about the airline industry. I see questions about real estate. I see questions about vaccines. So feel free to email directly the people. I had a question actually for Accra. Edom, if you're still with us, had a question about the B2B opportunities. Will the GA in Accra, will you give the possibility to have other WTCs come with their members, with the business community, well, community, that's a big word, with several members to network during the General Assembly?
Yes, the B2B component is a big part of the program that we have outlined, and we would be expecting other World Trade Centers to bring business delegations to the General Assembly. We would arrange specific B2B and B2G meetings and field trips for each business that will be coming, depending on their fields of interest. Every business that will come to the GA 2021 will have a customized B2B schedule, customized itinerary, depending on their interest and the kind of companies that they want to meet.
Okay, that sounds great because we have a lot of WTCs on the line, but also members from different WTCs. Thank you for your answer. And I know for a fact, because I've been talking to a lot of businesses in the Western France and in Brittany, a lot of companies in agribusiness mostly are interested in English-speaking Africa. We have there are lots of trade being done with French-speaking African countries, but that's very interesting what you have to offer in Accra for companies. So you can count on us on this one.
Yes.
Another
And just to add to that, we don't have to wait even to the GA to start the B2B engagements. Even leading up to the GA, we will be very happy to start to work with some of these companies and to show them the possibilities. They could start to engage virtually with some of the potential partners before they have to travel to Accra.
Okay, thank you, Edem. Good to know. Feel free to send your questions in the chat. If you have any questions right now, feel free to raise your hand as well. Another one that comes to also mind a lot of times, and I'm sorry, I have another question on Africa actually. I don't know if we have anybody from the WTCA on the line, Robin or other people. There's always this question that does the WTCA have plans to expand the WTC brand in Africa?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Nicholas.
Hi, Crystal. How you doing?
Hey, hello.
Feel free
hello.
to turn on your camera if you.
It's a bit earlier here. I don't have my setup done quite yet.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But yes, I can take that. I think Robin had to run into another meeting actually. But that is an excellent question, and the answer is 100% a yes. Especially with the GA coming up in Ghana next year. In the lead up, we will be doing a very large push to extend our reach because as everyone knows, Africa is a rich environment with many diverse countries, and we definitely expect to expand our work in the continent. And we appreciate anyone's input and suggestions and opportunities that are there to approach us with them.
And a second part to the question, Crystal, if you may, we have WTCs from all around the world today, from Brazil to Russia, Afghanistan. Now I have to say them all. Portugal and Ghana. My question is, what are the plans? Are there any other licenses in the works right now in other countries?
Yes, definitely. There are. I can't list all of them because we would be here all day. But yes, we have a number of new members coming on board quite often, actually. I think something that happened with the pandemic, with the shutdown, people realized that you can connect much more easily if you're a part of an association like the WTCA, and the work you all have been doing at the World Trade Centers in the last year and a half really has solidified that. So we have quite a few organizations, nonprofits, as well as private entities approaching us for licenses.
Well, thank you. Do we have any other questions? Otherwise, Sebastian, do you see any other question? Maybe questions from our speakers?
There is a question. How I can arrange technology transfer of Sputnik, being the vaccine, from Siberia to make European vaccine COVID? I have to put you in contact with the people responsible for the export of this vaccine, being the Russian Fund of Direct Investment, and we'll take it from there. If you're serious, we'll take it from there. So it is manageable. Yes.
Oh, great. Well, I think Yufeng was Lam was the one who sent the question. I hope you have your answer. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question from Joseph. You mentioned regarding the stock exchange centers in Portugal with the relationship with the World Trade Center Lisbon. So because we are also planning to work in this project in Afghanistan, still we don't have any stock exchange in Afghanistan, and would like to work with the government. So how is your experience and how is your relationship? Can you also connect us somehow with them that we could discuss to maybe as a future projects in Afghanistan?
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for your question. Let me just tell you that Euronext owns the stock exchange of Lisbon, Paris, Brussels, Amsterdam, Oslo, Dublin, and more recently Milano. So we are, Euronext is therefore a very important company in the access to the listed companies throughout Europe. So Euronext sees World Trade Center as an interesting support to its activities with some of the listed companies in their 7 stock exchanges. And we have the opportunity also to access those listed companies in a much more convenient way. So the idea is to get closer to key companies that are listed in those stock exchanges. And that is working well. In fact, we are giving Euronext the opportunity to also do in our events a keynote speech on the economic scene, and that is a way to be closer to them. And of course, World Trade Center gives that opportunity of a very, very broad network globally, which the listed companies of the stock exchanges like to know.
Thank
Excellent.
you,
Can you
Jose.
put me in contact with him? Joseph, maybe later on you can send me an email, we can exchange, and we're keen to work with your WTC on this project in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of opportunities.
Very good.
Thank you very much. I'm going to have to conclude. Sebastian, you wanted to conclude?
No, it's just to thank you all our speakers, as I've seen that time is running on, and I think that you may have all either weekend or the day working day from you before in front of you. So just to thank you all very much for participating and giving very insightful information about your region, about your country, and we will be keeping a connection. You will receive soon the presentation with all the contacts, so do not hesitate to ask our speaker if you have any further question. Once again, thank you very much to all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.